Hey guys, so today is Thursday. Yay! Did you see that full moon the other night? Oh my god, that beaver moon, it was beautiful, wasn't it? It was like taking up the whole sky. Well, today's tarot tap of the day is the Ace of Swords. Ace, A-C-E, Ace of Swords. Look at that crown up there. I love this card. This is a card. Remember, swords are the truth. So, truth, it started having me thinking of cognitive reframing. Something about this card makes me think of cognitive reframing. I'm serious. Basically, what that is, in case you don't know, is it's kind of like when I was thinking of this earlier today. I was thinking of, this is embarrassing, okay? But I'm going to tell you a little something about me. When I was in college, I hate math. I have actually math anxiety, seriously. Like, I just don't even want to think about it. I don't want to just, I think it really came from a really bad teacher that put pressure on me, and then I just froze. Well, when I was in college, I was taking remedial math. Yeah, that's embarrassing, isn't it? But I'm very smart when it comes to reading and spelling and English, but math is just even science, I'm good. Math, and I was great at statistics. Okay, back to math. I hate it, okay? So, I was in remedial math in junior college. Well, then when I went to UTSA, when I went to the university where I was transferring to, I knew that I had to take, first of all, I had to take higher math in order to even get in statistics, and I wanted my degree in psychology, which was very important to me, which I do have. So I have to take math, okay, whether I wanted to or not. Well, there comes a point where when you are learning math, there comes a point where a switch just goes off in your head. I'm serious. And you just get it. All of a sudden, you just get it. And I had been trying to get it for years, okay? Seriously. Think about not being able to pass freaking regular remedial, and then something goes off and that switch just goes off, and then I had I'm serious, straight A's at UTSA in math. It was like that. All it took was one good teacher and the switch. So cognitive reframing is kind of a little bit like that. It's kind of like when nothing really changes. I mean, things did change because it was a good teacher, and another environment, maybe wasn't at SAC anymore, but it's maybe you're in a relationship, and you see that person a specific way, and everybody tells you that person is something else, and you just can't see. You just think they hung the moon, or you just see all the great things about that person, and you don't see anything else. Just all the great things about that person are just completely amplified. Well, with cognitive reframing, it's kind of it's still the same person. Nothing has changed at all. But all of a sudden, something clicks. It could be something they do, maybe something they say, and you just see that person completely for who they are. No more sugarcoating. No more making them out to be some grand prize. You just see them. And it's kind of like when you see something and you can't unsee it. It's like that. That is what this card's about. This card is about you seeing the truth and not being able to unsee it. The truth is just there, and it changes everything about what you believe in your head about this person. And even with their charming, manipulating, ways, you don't buy it anymore. They can't get you like the way they got you before. That's what this card's about. This card's about the truth. It's about seeing things the way they really are. And I don't know if, oh my gosh, I just realized I still have my apron on. That is so funny. I'm sorry. I was like cooking, and so my apron's still on. But as I was saying, something about that truth, and the good thing about the truth is sometimes like we don't want to see it, it's not always nice, and it ruins like some things sometimes, because when we face the truth, we realize that we have to make changes in our life, and sometimes the changes make it harder for us because we were overlooking certain things because it made it easier. There's so many things that it can be like, and make it harder on us. The thing is that it's really important that we live in our truth. Extremely important. And I know that, everybody's truth is different. It really is. And people don't even understand that. Like, I'm not kidding you. People think like the truth is the truth, but my truth is different than your truth. It can be. I'm not kidding you. It just depends on our environment, on our beliefs, and a whole bunch of different things. And then, of course, there's God's truth. If you do believe in God, if you believe in a higher power, there is, the ultimate Father's truth, And a lot of us think that we know what his truth is, and we don't. I mean, as many times as the Bible has been interpreted over and over and over, times have changed as well. All we can really do is, I guess, go with the truth that is in our heart. And if you're very spiritual and you pray, he'll tell you the truth, and I really truly believe that if you read the Bible or any type of spiritual literature or anything, that if you are spiritual and you want those answers, you are going to get them. The same thing with tarot, reading cards. It's meditation, prayer, and it's just, finding out things like, sometimes the cards tell me things that I really would rather not know, but I already know, I mean, we do know. Sometimes we're not ready for knowing, or we're just like, not yet. So again, ace is ACE. I always say ACE because people think I say 8 when I say ace. So I have a habit of spelling it. The Ace of Swords comes up when there's a new beginning, or the beginning of something new. So I don't know if you're starting something new, or if it's just getting back into looking at somebody new, looking at the situation new with new eyes. Those eyes that actually are not swayed by lies, manipulation. They're not tricked by the trickster, the winkster. It's just pure, like brand new. Like you're looking at, like, I don't want to say from a blank slate, because we aren't. We do like know that person, and we've been through experiences with that person, but it's just a new feeling, I guess. And on the card, it reminds us that blessings come from the truth. They really do. So we have to live in our truth. And when we don't want to face the truth, and everybody's telling us like, look at that, and we don't want to see it, I guess it's hard to see sometimes, but when we do see it, we're going to notice that everything changes. I mean, it really does. I don't know. know, I love this card because I love truth bombs. I really do. I mean, I love fantasy, don't get me wrong, but I don't really like illusions. I don't, because they're tricks, you know, like magic, you know, it's like, it's not the truth. But with this is slicing through the illusions with this card when it comes up. And I love truth bombs. I love the truth. I love I love like the reality of what it really is. You know, like I could enjoy a great magic show, don't get me wrong, but it's all about illusions, you know, and it's not the truth. The other thing about this card is that, you know, there's times where we are just completely living with mental confusion. You know, we are emotional beings. We are, how can I say, we let our emotions get us thinking a certain way. And we really can trick our own minds into believing, you know, what we think. I mean, we can like, our brain and our mind is so strong that we can see and hear things that are not there sometimes, you know. And it's, believe me, I've done it where I've actually like truly believed that something was happening and it was just not happening that way. And it was, you know, at a time where I was really emotional. So our emotions, you know, they really can like affect us. So this card is getting to the point where, you know, we're kind of like, we're seeing things right, and we're not allowing those emotions to rule us, you know. So if we feel like, you know, I guess when people say be careful what you look for, and you know, a lot of times people will have a feeling and they'll be like, okay, well, I'm gonna look and find out if this is true. And then, you know, things can look like, you know, what you're imagining, but at the same time, it could also be your intuition telling you that it's what's happening is happening, and that makes you emotional. So it's kind of a double-edged sword in a way with your emotions and when you're trying to see the truth. So I think it's real important that this card reminds us that sometimes we do need to cut through the noise like a sword. So, you know, sometimes we got to step back and we got to wait until we're not as emotional. And, you know, like, people can go crazy when they're emotional. They really can. And sometimes we got to just, you know, cut through that noise. And that's what I like about this card, is because this card is cutting through the noise. And it's saying, you know, maybe you're in a right state of mind where you're just not letting your emotions, they're more under control, and you're able to pretty much look at things truthfully, the way that they really are. The other thing about the Ace of Swords is it's the seed of air. It is the first thought, you know. So that first thought that you're thinking, it's important right now. So if you are listening to this and you're thinking about something and you get a thought, it's probably the truth. I think the thing that makes it so hard is the truth hurts, and it really is painful. Sometimes the conversations that we do not want to have with other people, those are some of the hardest conversations that we can have. So we put them off, and we basically just don't want to have them. So that is us basically living in denial. We don't want to live in denial. Okay, so one of the main things to do so that you're not living in denial is setting boundaries. And my cards have told me more and more about setting boundaries, I think, this year than they've ever told me before. So that's something that I'm sharing with y'all about setting boundaries and having those hard, difficult conversations, you know, that we put off and that we don't want to, like, we don't want to get that other person like upset with us, and we just feel like, you know, life is so hard. Let's just be in denial. Let's just act like everything's okay. It's not okay, okay? You know it's not. Like, think about it. Do you really think it's okay? Do you like it this way? Look at this crown. Look how beautiful that crown is. That is the crown of clarity. And guess what? Everybody wants a crown. Don't you want to feel like a king? Don't you want to feel like a queen? The only way to get this crown is not by being liked. It's by telling the truth. Telling the truth. So many people are so used to lying that it's almost second nature. Don't put up with lies. Tell the truth.